morning, folkers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Snapzilla Gorilla, and welcome to the Definition of Anarchy channel. All right. Today, as you can see, I'm gonna go in on your boy. All right. I'm gonna go in on him, not in a disrespectful manner, right? Because I'm not gonna attack him personally. Listen, this video is gonna be twofold. One, well, I guess you can call it disrespectful. But I'm just going to explain the point of view of certain individuals that see him a certain way. All right? Twofold. This video is going to be twofold. One is going to explain why people think Brandon Tatum is a coon and why they're justified in that feeling. And two, we're going to talk about why drugs should be legal. All right? We're going to talk about why drugs should be legal. Now, what is a coon? In my mind, a coon is, you have to meet certain criteria to be the coon. All right. Now, let's take me for instance. Me, I have some white folks that are subscribers. All right. I don't have to shit on white folks to speak my mind or to be freedom-minded. If you're freedom-minded, you want everyone to be free, and you recognize that everyone is under the heel of oppression. Everyone is. Now, there are some disparities. There are some disparities in how certain people are treated versus others. And this is what sets me apart from the coon. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not just that. Now, I'm going to play this video, and as they talk about it, as they talk about a certain thing, I'm going to jump in and let you guys know exactly why people think he's a coon, and we'll go from there. Now, some people do use that word lightly, I will admit, but not with this cat. I'm gonna explain to you why. All right.
You're dealing dope. You're killing people. Don't be surprised and shoot at police when they kick your blank door in. On other note, we want to see more in your videos. Korean, get from over here. I'm turning off.
We can make that happen right now.
Okay.
He doesn't want to talk to me. He just wants to talk to his internet friends. We're supposed to be on a getaway.
We are.
A vacation away from the internet.
We're supposed to be off the internet.
And he's been on YouTube for the past 3 hours.
Okay, I'm finna get out here. Let's see. Sent through mail.
I want to talk now.
Lachey, sent through mail is a federal crime. Happened to my neighbor. Only 3 officers. Apartment gave access and authorization for authorities to do what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I love you, sister. It's good. I ain't gonna lie. It's good to see black people. It's good to see black people just being normal to me. Like I feel like there's only a few of us. It's a lot of white people on here saying, I agree, Brandon. I agree. But then when you see a black, I'm assuming you're black because your picture's black. I don't think
it's beautiful.
I don't think, but somebody can use somebody else's picture and say they're black. But I'm assuming that you're authentic and this is your page and it's your picture. But it's good to hear black people that just aren't just drinking the Kool-Aid, man. Like,
and not because black people drink Kool-Aid, it's the Jim Jones reference.
Yeah, I mean everybody with a brain stem understands that.
I'm kidding.
But
now, this is what makes a coon. You heard what he said. He said he loved to see black people that are being normal. All right, and then he talks about how the white folks here, they for the most part they agree with me. So the white folks are good because they agree with you. But if a black person doesn't agree with your stance on things, they're not good people. They're not normal. They're part of the people that drink the Kool-Aid, right? I'm assuming the Kool-Aid he's talking about is the Kool-Aid of the Democratic Party. All right? He's talking about the Kool-Aid of the Democratic Party. Now, let me explain why this is not his first time going at black people like that. All right? And I saw a video yesterday where the amazing Lucas is playing a video of him going off on a black person, calling him N-words, cussing at him, saying he's gonna beat his ass, all the other shit. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to say, well, yeah, that's part of it. Now, if a white folk that he so-called self-debate with comes at him the same way, he ain't gonna go off on him like that. But let me tell you this. What makes a coon is when you pander to white folks while shitting on black folks at the same time. That's what makes you a coon. When you actively and deliberately and seek out to shit on black people while catering and pandering and licking the boots of white folks. That is what makes a coon. And that's why they call him a coon. And that's why I can't disagree. I don't like to use that word necessarily, but I'm explaining why people think he's a coon. And he don't care, because guess what? White folks give him a lot of money. All right, he loves his money. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to make your money, go ahead and do that. If you want to sell your merchandise, go ahead and sell your merchandise. I'm all for it. I'm all for the free market. But when you shit on black folks to attain and obtain and retain the white audience that gives you a lot of money, that's when it's a problem. That's why people call you a coon. All right. And then you say don't bring race into this, and why people always bring race into that. All she said, she agreed with you, but you had to bring up the fact that she was black. You had to bring up the fact, the idea, right? The false idea that most black people aren't normal. Just off of her saying that. Why couldn't she just be someone that agreed with you, that said some shit? No, you got to bring up, oh, you see, sister? Oh, you see right there? Oh, my goodness. Oh, you a good black person. You a good Negro blackie. You a good Negro blackie. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, you are. Same thing goes with the Hodge twins. The Hodge twins are notorious for shitting on black folks. And they'll sit up here and say, out of their own mouth, that's some good white folks right there. Oh, you should go to that place, because they have some good white folks. Some great white folk. Oh, they them good white folk. And they'll shit on black people. That's what makes you a coon. That's not the only thing that makes you a coon, but that's what that's the part of the coon starter kit. That's part of the coon starter kit. If you want to be a complete coon, if you want to graduate to the 30 degree masonry coonness, then you become a police officer and bang some black heads. You go extra. You go the extra mile to bang black heads in front of your white counterparts to let them know that you're part of the good old boy club. Understand something from me. I do have a white audience. I respect my white audience. I respect white folks that respect me. I respect white folks that don't get out of pocket, just like they should respect me when I don't get out of pocket. But if a white man or a white woman gets out of pocket, I'm going to pluck their ass up and put them back in pocket. Understand that. Understand that. I will not pander to white people. I will not pander to black people. But I am black. I am black. So I will go hard for my people when I see people coming for them. If y'all don't like that, kick rocks. My channel was growing very slowly, and my channel has subscribers that are very, very discerning. I like the number of followers. I love that I'm growing slowly. I'm loving that I'm getting really authentic followers and really authentic subscribers. And, you know, yes, YouTube is slowing my channel down. Indeed. But the people that find me and become subscribers, they become subscribers and they know that I'm talking that real shit. But understand that I will not pander to white folks. I will not shit on black people for the sake of growing a white audience. I will not do that. I understand the dilemma. I understand the conditions that black people find themselves in. And I'm going to tell you where it started. where there was a pause and where it started back up again. You had slavery, right? Oh yeah, I know. Black people were slave owners. Yeah. That's what's been said. Oh yeah, the Africans sold their own people into slavery. But understand something. Most of the black folks that were in this country that were slaves, were already here before the Europeans showed up. And if you go back and you look at the details of the history, the people that sent the leaders in Africa that sent people out here with the Europeans did so under the auspices, under the understanding that these people that were coming over here on these ships were indentured servants that would not be slaves. They were enslaved once they got here, for the most part. Now, do we have corrupt leaders, even to this day, that are selling us out to China, in Europe, in America, in Libya? Absolutely. And those people should be dealt with. But you also have white leaders that sell out their people. You got Hispanic leaders that sell out their people. So don't act like slavery can be justified because, oh, some black folks were bad. Nah, pimpin'. No, it don't work like that. Slavery was bad, period. If you were involved in that, it don't matter what color you are. If you were involved in it, if you were instrumental or complicit in slavery, then you were bad. Then you did the wrong thing, and you should have been dealt with. I recognize that. I recognize that some white people helped slaves out during the Underground Railroad situation. Yeah. But that's not the point, is it? The point is that we were enslaved, and the point is that when we were finally freed, so-called, we then became sharecroppers that had to pay loans just to work on our own land and all this other shit. And then you had Jim Crow, this, that, and the third. Then you had a point in time where after the civil rights movement, we were making progress. After Malcolm X and Martin Luther King sacrificed themselves for the betterment of black people. Oh, God damn it. Hold on, y'all. This holder is just weak now. Alright. So look, man. Then what happened? What happened in the 70s? What happened in the late 60s, early 70s? What really took us off track? And it's similar to what happened during the Harlem Renaissance, right? With the Cotton Club and the heroin being introduced in the black neighborhood. Then you had the war on drugs. What did the war on drugs do? It targeted black communities. It took black fathers out of homes, enslaved them in the jail system, and all this, that, and the third. That's what happened. That's why we're in the position we're in now. Then you had COINTELPRO. Because guess why? The Black Panthers and other organizations like that came out to stop the drug peddling in their own neighborhoods, right? Because drugs were illegal, and when you illegalize something, people are still going to want that product, and people are going to provide that product in a snaky and in a criminal way. So when you criminalize a product, you're creating criminals, and they do things in an improper manner. All right. But let's talk about the Black Panthers policing their own neighborhood, patrolling their own neighborhood, protecting the communities from corrupt cops and from drug dealers. Drug dealers that were harming the community by selling stepped-on drugs. Why were the drugs stepped on? I'll get into that when I talk about why we should legalize drugs. You're destroying the community by selling stepped-on drugs, killing snitches, you know what I mean, and killing competition. That's where it becomes a problem. So the black community is in the position it's in because it took 400 or 500 years to get black folks in black communities in this position, in this condition. It's going to take a little while to come out of it, and we're improving. Is this country technically better for black people than it was 400 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 150 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago? Yeah. But we still got a lot of work to do. So, this whole drug thing brings me into why I think drugs should be legalized. Well, what happens when you illegalize something? What happens when you put a prohibition on something? Well, let's talk about the alcohol prohibition, right, in the 20s, the roaring 20s, the alcohol prohibition. What happened? A lot of death and a lot of destruction and a lot of corruption revolved around the alcohol prohibition. All right? The alcohol prohibition caused a lot of problems because guess what? People still wanted to have alcohol. People still wanted to consume alcohol. People still wanted to make money by providing people with alcohol. This creates a lot of problems. This creates a black market. When you have a black market, which is always going to exist, you're never going to get rid of a black market as long as you illegalize shit that people want. So you get a black market, a lot of problems can happen. A lot of violence, a lot of contamination of the product, right? A lot of watering down of the alcohol, a lot of fake shit, a lot of this, that, and the third. Nothing's regulated. Nothing. You can't ensure that you're getting pure product. That's what happens when you illegalize substances that people want to consume to get a euphoric feeling or to get something to help them have something going on. That's why drugs should be legal. Alcohol was illegal. It was prohibited, and it caused a lot of problems. There was a lot of issues, a lot of corruption, a lot of death. Look up the history of the alcohol prohibition. Now, alcohol is legal now. It can still cause problems. It can cause diseases. It can cause you get drunk, you start driving, you can kill people. But it's legal. It's way more harmful than some of these drugs that aren't legal. Cigarettes are legal, very harmful. You smoke around people that get secondhand smoke, they have problems. Listen, smoking can be attributed to over 500,000 deaths a year. Whereas drugs, including pharmaceutical drugs, account for about 86,000 deaths a year. Drugs outside of alcohol. Alcohol can cause all these problems. So why is cigarettes and alcohol legal and drugs not, and other drugs not, like marijuana? Why isn't it legal across the board? Marijuana is probably the least harmful drug that you can consume. Why is it illegal? Well, because there's no money in it being legalized. See, imagine what would have to stop. Imagine how much revenue you're not going to get from the drug deals, from the illegal drugs. You won't need the DEA, right? You won't need the drug enforcement. There's a lot of shit, there will be less need for much of the law enforcement we have in this country today. All right? That's one reason why it's illegal, because they need something for these people to do to help them bring in revenue, right? Wasn't it Trump seized the whole shipment of drugs and say, "Oh, we're gonna sell it back out to the world"? Oh, it's okay for you to do it, but not for me. What's another reason it's illegal? The pharmaceutical industry and the government, they don't like competition. So let's talk about why it should be legal. Well, if you have legal drugs, you can make sure it's in its purest form. Like crack cocaine exists today because drugs are illegal. Not because people want drugs, but because drugs are illegal. All right? It's very difficult to get the cocaine, right? They buy it for a certain price, and these drug dealers cut it, step on it, so that it can stretch further and so they can make more money. All while trying to escape scrutiny of the law and not get arrested. So what happens when you legalize drugs? They become contaminated. They become impure. If drugs were not illegal, then there you would have a lot more freedom to sell uncut, pure drugs to individuals, which means what? Less harmful effects, less craziness. You get somebody some crack, man, that shit'll make them crazy. Heroin, okay? So heroin is stepped on too. You make sure you get unstepped on product. You know, like in Asia, they had the opium dens. People go to work or do what they had to do. They get off work, man. They go get that opium cracking. Yes, it trips you out. It trips you out. It gives you euphoric feeling, but you're not going to stop it by making it illegal. The people are not going to stop it. What happens when you make the shit illegal is that you make it more desirable, and you just create all kind of problems. You create crime syndicates. You create competition between syndicates that are deadly. That are deadly. You got to worry about snitches. You got to worry about this. You got to worry about that. You got to kill snitches. You got to kill your competition. Oh, somebody took your corner over. Oh man, I got to go take that motherfucker out. Like, look, this is what happens. It snowballs the problem when you illegalize drugs. It doesn't stamp down the problem. Is it 40 years? The war on drugs? Nothing has come of it. Nothing has stopped. No drugs have stopped. You got these cartels growing bigger. You embolden the cartels. The cartels sends us, you know what I mean? Like, come on. None of this happens if you let people do drugs like they want. But you make sure they get good drugs. You make sure they get, I know, good drugs, right? No, you make sure they get pure drugs. Make sure you eliminate all the problems that go with people trying to steal with the black market. The black market will always exist as long as there is people who are in demand of a certain product that is illegal. Like organs. Right? Yeah, you shouldn't be able to sell organs, and you shouldn't be killing people and taking people's organs to sell them. Right? That's hell of illegal. And that's something that shouldn't be legalized. That's something that if somebody gets caught doing it, they should get their head chopped off. But guess what? The black market creates a demand for it. There's a demand for organs. So people will always find a way. You make guns illegal, you illegalize firearms, people are always going to find a way to get a hold of a firearm if they really want it. I don't like drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't even like weed. I don't like none of that because I like to keep my mind sober. I like to keep my head straight. I like to think clearly. But that's me. Some people want an escape. People have been doing drugs for years, for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. Hell, it used to be they take drugs way back in the day in order to as a pain reliever, like poppy. They used to call it milk of the poppy. All that is heroin that they consume. Poppy. It gave them relief when they had pain. It was anti-inflammatory. And it was in its purest form. That's what happens when you let shit be. They use drugs to, to relieve pain back in the day. To do certain things for medicine. Man, I mean, we got to get some sense about us, man. And this guy, of course, because he hates drugs and he's a police officer, they should be illegal. Listen, let me tell you something about him, man. You will never listen, you can't convince this man that you can't listen. He's a police officer. He's very biased. You will never convince him that cops are bad, that they can do any wrong. Oh, you just highlighting the bad departments. let me explain something to you, man. Every department is bad. When you throw on that uniform and you go enforce these laws, right? These laws, these so-called laws that these politicians put out there that create criminals out of people that aren't committing crimes, you are committing a crime. You're violating people. You're violating people's privacy. You're violating people's rights. This is what you're doing. You think that. Look, he's a lost cause to me, right? I will never, in my right mind, I will never believe that I can convince him that, to me, all police are either indifferent or they're bad. There's no such thing to me as a good cop. What happens to good cops? Well, we know what happened to the good cop in Seattle, right? If he is what he says he is. If he didn't just play a game to get $1 million in 2 weeks. That's what happens to good cops that let their morals show. And they say, look, man, we need to stop enforcing these horrible laws. We need to stop enforcing these unconstitutional laws, these unconstitutional edicts. When that happens, oh, he had on the uniform. Oh, he had his badge showing. Oh, he had they had the radio going. So therefore, no, that's not why they fired him. They fired him because he was speaking truth to power. Because he was spitting that real. All right? Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I mean, don't miss me with that. Oh, these radio calls. Listen, man. Tell me if that's such a concern. Why is there such a show as Cops? Why is there such a show as First 48? You're giving all your tactics away in those shits. Miss me with that, man. The problem was he was spitting that real, and Mr. Tatum here wants to make you think that, oh, he agrees with me. No. He don't agree with him. He's an order follower. He don't agree with that dude. He just did that because he knows that a lot of people agree with him, right? And he don't want to piss nobody off, but he wants to go into regulations. Okay. Anyway, that's my take, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Sorry, YouTube made my whole platform just fall a couple times. YouTube need to knock it off with your telekinesis and shit. You know what I'm saying? Knocking my shit off. Knocking my whole platform. My whole platform just failed. Anyway, much love. Share, like, subscribe. Peace.